18th of November, Rabbi Furst, Pierke Avos. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Here we are together again.
Good morning. Rabbi Shlomo Furst here, Yeshiva Tzalmanakshi here on Shalim here Zoom. This is our first year in the morning. And good morning, Roy. Good morning, Barry. Good morning, Lou. Good morning, Aaron. Everyone have a wonderful day, Be'ez Hashem. We're going to be continuing on with our understanding of why we do or we don't, or when we do or when we don't. 2 days, an extra day of Hanukkah, and it's also relevant to Purim as well. So let me put this on the screen, and then we can get started. That's a shame.
Aaron, we hear noise from your session.
Okay.
Yeah,
who would
just
like
put
to
him
begin?
on mute. No.
Okay, very good. Okay, who would like to do a little bit reading for us this morning? We'll start with the Chashuki Chemed in Sanhedrin. This is Rav Zilberstein, the son-in-law of Rabbi Elisha Zitzal. And he speaks about this Indian. He'll be quoting a few things we've seen before, but it's worth the review. Who would like to begin? It's up to them.
I would.
Why the line is. Yeah, very good. Go ahead.
Okay, so the Hashiki Hamad Sanhedrin, Daf Mem Aleph, Amud Bet, Lama Ein Osin Sveka Dioma Be Hanukah U Mikomos Bimkomos Sheluche
That's based in Shaluchi
based in. So we're asking on Sanhedrin, why do we don't make a doubt of the day? Why we're not concerned about the doubt of the day for Hanukkah in places that the messengers of the court lo hagiu l'sham, they can't make it there in time.
Exactly. So these places are going to be in doubt as to when the new moon was declared. So they by right should keep 2 days. And the question is, why don't we say they should keep 2 days?
Okay, so the Shaila, Lama Ein Osin Sveka Dioma Be Bechavle. I don't know this abbreviation.
B'chutz la'aretz.
Oh, B'chutz la'aretz. Bimkomos shaluche beistin lo higio l'sham. So it's the same thing we just read. Why we don't make a doubtful day in the diaspora, in places where the messengers of the court can't get there in time. Kmo she'osim b'sha'ar yamim tovim, like we do for the other the other holidays. Tshuva, the answer. B'she'ela zu, with this question, amdu ha rishonim, the Rishonim stood up. Vatir,
Like they dealt with this question. The Rishonim have already dealt with this question. I mean, it's not a new question.
right.
Something which the Rishonim have already discussed.
Vatirat ha avod raham,
The Abu Drum.
avod ram. They dealt with this in the response of avodram, b'shem bal ha'atim, in the name of the bal ha'atim, mipnei shechag hasukos, in accordance with the holiday of Sukkah, min haTorah. The holiday of Sukkah, because the holiday of Sukkot is from the Torah. V'ha'chamiro chazal al sveko, and the sages were strict about a doubt because it's deraisa. The fee she'ein anu kov'in ata al pi hara'i, and therefore
Al pi
haria. Okay, so we don't establish what is atah
now in our days.
Now we don't establish now in accordance with citing. Aval Hanukah shehaya midivrehem, but Hanukah, that it is
the words. That's the words of the sages. The words of Chazal. It's midrabanan.
Oh, midrabanan. Okay, that Hanukah, that it's midrabanan, that it's from the rabbis, as opposed to being from the Torah directly. Haim amru la'asos shmona yimei Chanukah. They said to do 8 days. V'heim amru cheshbon ha-molados, and they stated the calculation of the calendar. Ulechora.
Right, Ulechora Mazdia, right? It seems that's basically the Abu Drum bringing the question and the teretz of the Bala Itim. Okay.
Right.
Now he's going to explain a little bit about it.
Okay. So what is this word ulechora?
Seemingly.
Mashma midivarav. Seemingly, we can derive from these words shekol zaman shekavu ha-chadashim al pi haria,
right? For the whole period of time that they were establishing the months according to the sighting of the new moon by the Adim.
B'makomos sheluchim lo hagiu, in all the places where the messengers couldn't reach it, hayu osim, they would make tet yamim misafek, they would make 9 days from a doubt.
Right.
I don't get that last sentence from seemingly.
Since, what's the reason we don't keep 9 days? We don't
Because the,
keep 9 days.
because the rabbis told us to keep 8 days specifically, and they set the calendar.
Right. So let's say if we're leaving at a time that they didn't have, there was no set calendar. The calendar was established by the sighting of the new moon, by the Riyah. So what's mashma? Mashma that we would have to keep 9 days. The only reason we don't keep 9 days is we have a fixed calendar. But if we didn't have a fixed calendar, it's mashma that we'd have to keep 9 days.
Right, because there's, even though the Chacham said to keep 8 days, so in our attempt to be sure that we were complying, we could keep 9 days.
Right.
So we would be fulfilling their instructions, but we were just being more careful about it.
Right. That's true. That's what's mashma that we.
Well, there's a problem with that, which is, if that's the case, it seems like it's wholly dependent upon Riyah. And if it's wholly dependent upon Riyah, then why bother to tell us that they said it's 8 days?
No, because that's the miracle that they established the festival of Hanukkah was established because the Kadosh Baruch Hu made a miracle for 8 days. Right? But it's built into that any place that you don't know which 8 days you're supposed to keep, so you have to keep an extra day because you don't know.
Right.
Right. So just tell me the reason it's 8 days is because they fixed the calendar, and therefore
No,
mashma,
it's 8.
before the
8
calendar
days
was fixed, it would be 9 days. Why
It's 8
tell me
days
that they fixed it at 8 days?
Because 8 days was the miracle. That's why it's 8 days, because the miracle was 8 days. So
Well, the same
No,
thing
no,
for Passover, same thing for Sukkot.
no, no,
Why are we making a different statement for Hanukkah than for anything else?
No, because first of all, the answer is coming from 2 points. One point is that theoretically we have no choice. Theoretically, 8 days is what we're supposed to keep, and only 8 days. Only 8 days, right? Practically, right, we would be able to keep 9 days if we were in doubt. But
Right.
for us, that we have no doubt because we have a fixed calendar, then we only have to keep 8 days, because the question's going to be developed. He's going to develop the question. Well, even though we have a fixed calendar, right? We keep 2 days Pesach, we keep 2 days Shavuos, we keep 2 days Sukkot. There's a big question. Why don't we keep 2 days Yom Kippur? There's a big question about that. We won't go there yet. We won't involve ourselves with that now. So the Torah also told us to keep 1 day Pesach, 1 day Sukkot, 1 day Shavuos, right? So the question is, why did we decide to keep 2 days Pesach, 2 days Shavuos, 2 days Sukkot? So that's a question that's lurking in the shadows.
Rebbe, I thought we answered that question.
Yeah.
That when the perpetual calendar was accepted, the rabbis decided, well, since we've been keeping these 2 days all this time, so we're going to just continue with that. Not that it was necessary, but it was just, I don't know, whatever their reason was in the wisdom of what they wanted, that's what they said.
Right. So when it came to Hanukkah,
They left it in, but they didn't have to leave it in.
right. So when it came to Hanukkah, they didn't do that because they had a definitive number of days to keep, which was 8. Even though for the Yom Tovim, Pesach, Shavuos, and Sukkot, there was also a definitive number of days to keep, meaning 1 day, the first day of each of the holidays. But the original suffix was a suffix deraisa. Since the original suffix was a suffix deraisa, they retained the second day of Gullus because of the original suffix derisa. But by Hanukah, there was never
Right.
original suffix derisa. It was never a suffix derisa. It was always suffix in a derabbanan, and we were told clearly only to keep 8 days.
Right. Right.
So why does it make a difference whether it's a suffix derisa or suffix derabbanan?
Oh, because since with the suffix derisa, even though we have a fixed calendar, right? Originally, the suffix was derisa, so they kept 2 days Sukkot, 2 days Pesach, 2 days Shavuos, and we continue that. We continue that as a custom. But with Hanukkah, we never developed that suffix. We never explored that suffix in terms of the whole of Klal Yisrael keeping that. Only in the cases where there were places where the shluchim couldn't go, they had to institute the out of practical measures just to keep 9 days practical measures.
Lou, I'm
200
surprised you're not.
years,
What?
they had a
That was
suffix.
part
What do you mean they never investigated it?
The rabbi's frozen.
Rabbi, come back to us, please.
Okay. We back?
No, he's out altogether.
He'll be back in a minute. Mute Hashem.
Are you sewing something, Lou?
Yes.
Mhm.
I try to have something to do when we're waiting, since we're waiting so many times.
Good idea.
Mhm. Yeah.
I was polishing my menorah. I polished the whole menorah while we were waiting for things.
Mhm. No, I have to do that.
Okay.
Oh, here comes Meir.
Good
Okay,
morning, Mia.
good morning, Roy. Good morning, Barry.
Good
Morning, Lou.
Good morning, Meir. We're just
Morning.
waiting for the rabbi to come back. He lost his connection.
Oh. And I made breakfast for my wife. That's why I'm late.
Well, you have a better reason than anybody.
Thank you.
Rabbi, you're muted and we can't see you.
All right, let's see what's going on here.
There you are. We can see you now. I can see you and hear you.
Okay, that's good. I was here
Okay.
the whole time. I didn't disappear, believe me.
All right, we're good. You heard us?
No, I didn't hear a thing. The whole thing stopped.
Oh,
But-
good. I'm glad you didn't hear what we were saying about you.
Very good. All right, let's continue here. Okay.
So I was
Hold on, you see
asking
that
you a
paragraph
question.
starting with-
You froze on me when I was in the middle of a question. So I was asking you, for 200 years, we had a suffix de Rabbanan about Hanukkah.
Right.
And you said, well, we didn't really think about it too much. I don't get that. What do you mean? We thought about it a lot. We thought about it every year for 200 years.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Sure. Of course. And anybody who didn't know when to keep Hanukkah, he kept 9 days.
Right.
So now we have a long-standing tradition in Calcutta of keeping 9 days, and they fix the calendar. And they say, even though we have fixed the calendar, we're going to keep 2 days for Pesach, Sukkot, and Shavuos,
Rosh Hashanah.
but nevertheless, we're going to switch to 1 day for Hanukkah because it's a suffix de Rabbanan.
Because
I
it's
don't
not-
get that.
No,
Why is
no,
the suffix de Rabbanan different?
Because now, no, because now the calendar is no more subject anymore.
We lost the audio. Can you repeat that?
You're frozen. Can't hear us.
Rabbi,
we're losing
you're
the-
frozen again.
Yeah, we didn't hear your reply to Lou.
He can't hear you. You can't hear us now. If you're frozen, you can't hear. If you're frozen, everybody. I've seen that if I'm frozen, if you're frozen and I'm not, then you see me as being frozen and you not.
Is that right?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the theory of relativity all over again.
Yeah, but we're not related as
That's
such.
right. The theory of relativity is that if your uncle travels in a spaceship and exceeds the speed of light, he's not your uncle
Hello.
anymore.
What is he? He's dead.
No, he's just not your uncle. If something happens, that's the
Hmm.
theory of relativity. You lose your relationships when you exceed the speed of light. You'll find out someday. Something.
Okay, so
goes wrong.
Lou's back and he's on the phone probably with the rabbi.
And what about Aaron? I suppose you can hear us, but he's not. Probably got his grandchildren around him.
Maybe that or he's eating breakfast while he's listening.
Yeah. Hmm. Were you talking, Lou, were you talking with the rabbi?
No, my son called me.
Oh. Yes, yeah.
Hmm.
All right.
Okay. Hmm.
I'm gonna call the rabbi and find out what's going on with him.
Anybody have a chessboard?
www.chess.com, Barry. It's free. You can play against a robot if you want.
No, I have my neighbor and I play chess, but I have yet to win a game. He's a Russian guy, and I think he grew up playing chess when he was 3 months old. I don't know. He's unbeatable.
I'm not getting an answer from him. Hello? Okay, Rabbi, speak, please.
Yeah, hello. I'm sorry, there's some kind of a technical difficulty. If you excuse me for a few minutes, I'll send up a space probe and see if it's sunspots.
Can you guys? Yeah, they're all laughing, so they must have heard you.
That's the best way to check and see if the system's working.
Make a good joke.
It has to be a good joke, otherwise there's no test.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not able to connect. At least the computer's working a little bit. I'm gonna shut the computer down completely and maybe restart. But yeah, let's continue. If you don't mind, we can continue over the phone if everyone hears me sufficiently.
Okay, so I'm not letting you off the hook on my question.
Yeah. Keep your question. We'll get we'll deal with all the questions, Bezos.
Okay. All right, so should I continue reading?
Yeah.
Okay, olam b'chol bo havarachim.
Right. In the Kolbo is also a rishon. We can have different opinions. We can have several different opinions here. The one we just were presented with was one particular opinion, but now we're going to have another opinion.
Okay. Betosphos. This is another reference.
Yeah, Tosis, and the Re'aim, that's Rav Eliyahu Mizrahi, that's in his Tosofos of al-Smag. He has special commentary on the Sefer Mitzvah Agadol. Smag, Samech Mem Gimel, Sefer Mitzvah Agadol.
Okay. All right, so that's a book, and the other one's a book. Okay.
Right.
Tirtzu Dahatam Lefi She Hanukah Midivrehem. The answer is that the reason is in accordance with that Hanukkah is rabbinic. Lo ha chamira kol kach. We're not so strict with it.
Right.
Umashma, and we derive she'af bisman.
Mashma means we can infer.
We can infer. That even in a time shekavua al pi hari, even in a time that we establish through the testimony of witnesses who see, lo asu tesha yamim, we don't do 9 days.
Right. So according to this opinion, even when they were Mekadesh al Piduriya, since it was a suffix to Rabbanan, they didn't keep 9 days. They only kept 8 days.
V'kasav ha
Birke Yosef, the Birke Yosef.
Oh, and it's written in the Birke Yosef, Shehaya Gamra Miforeshes Bemin Chos. That it is that we complete what is Miforeshes?
That the Birke Yosef's right, that it's a Gemara Miforeshes, but Menachos. It's a open Gemara in Menachos.
The Gemara Miforeshes is the name of the book?
Well, the Gemara, meaning Menachos. Menachos is the book. Miforeshes is explicit. Miforeshes is explicit. It's an explicit Gemara in the Gemara in Menachos.
That it is. And what's Gamra?
Gemara.
Oh, Gemara. It is, the Gemara is explicit in Menachos. The Rev Papa, the Rev Huna, Berei Derav Yehoshua, Achla,
Achli Chadash.
Achli.
Let me give you a background to this. This is a Gemara about Chadash. Chadash is the new grains. The new grains have to be made permissible by bringing the Korban Omer on the second day of Pesach. And before that Korban Omer was brought, it was forbidden to eat the new grain, right? So here we're seeing the Rav Huna, Rav Papa, and Rav Huna, Rav Yehoshua. They ate Chadash, but order Isar. On the evening of the 16th. They ate it on the evening of the 16th.
Negoye Sheyivsar.
That's the 15th, meaning that it's the evening of the 16th, which is the afternoon of the 16th.
But Orcha is the afternoon.
Right. But Orta is it's the night of the 16th, which is the afternoon of the 15th.
Okay, so they ate new grain on the 16th, which means that they were assuming that the 15th was the 15th. Is that the point?
They were Mako, meaning they really, if they wanted to be Machmir, they should have waited till the 16th completely. But they were Mako, right? They were Mako, right? And they did it on the 15th. That shows you, right? The Kasavre, this is the main point. Kasavre, others b'chutzlos the Rabbanim was fake lo chashinin. You see that they understood that Chadash is the Rabbanim in Chutzlaretz, and there's a suffix they weren't concerned about.
Okay, so they held that Chadash in the diaspora was rabbinic, and therefore they were not concerned about the suffix. So that this shows us that when it's a rabbinic, you are not concerned about the doubt.
Right.
You're not concerned about the doubt. You're not saying lakula. You're saying you're not concerned. What's the difference between saying Safek Rabbanan Lakula and saying, oh, because Safek Rabbanan Lakula, you'd say, I'm not going to eat it at all.
You could do that. But,
What's the difference between that and this?
They didn't wait an extra day. If they wanted to be machmir, they could have waited an extra day.
Right. So because of that, they establish a precedence that you don't have to wait an extra day, or you don't have to hold an extra day when it's rabbinic.
Right.
Okay.
Let's try and do one more paragraph. I'm going to try and connect again just to see if it's working at all. Go ahead, Lou.
Okay, so I'm turning the page. Olam Hamordechai. Oh, here you come, Rabbi. You'll have to turn your phone off if it starts making buzzing sounds.
Yeah, let it just connect and then we'll probably go to the regular message thing.
B'techila.
Okay, I'm turning the phone on. Okay, here we are. Back again. How do you like that?
Okay.
Okay.
So the Mordechai, I guess that's a book. Ola Mordechai HaMordechai.
The Mordechai, like it's a commentary on the Gemara.
Okay, so he initially
The Chilas Masechtas Megillah at the beginning of the Gemara and Megillah.
Oh, in the beginning of the Gemara Megillah, Kasav Uma Shalo Nehagu Likros HaMegillah Yom Yud Daled Yom Yud Tetvav. What is it? What is this that we don't have the custom to read the Megillah on the 14th and the 15th?
Right. I mean, he's exploring the question, basically the same question. He's exploring the question: why shouldn't we on Purim keep 2 days? Right.
Right. Misafek, because of a doubt. Bisman hazeh. Nowadays, kida avadim b'yud tet. That
Yom Tov, avdi b'Yom Tov, like we do on Yom Tov.
Like we do on Yom Tov.
Right. We keep 2 days Yom Tov, right?
Right. Yesh lomar mishum de Dilma Yud Daled Nikva Bizamno. There is to say, because maybe the 14th, what's Nikba?
Right, because is fixed. This motto, Yud Daled, the 14th is fixed in its place.
Fixed in its place. We're concerned that the 14th is fixed in its place. Ve'ika b'tetvav mishum velo Ya'avor.
It says in the Megillah, Yom Yavro, you shouldn't add on, you shouldn't do any extra. Meaning, really, it's true. It's true that we should really be keeping Yud Daled and Tes Vav. But since it says Lo Yavor, so we say, okay, Yud Daled is definitive, and we have a doubt about Tes Vav, but it says in the Megillah, Lo Yavor, you shouldn't do more than necessary. So therefore, we don't do more than necessary.
Okay. Mash,
Mashman B'Diborov, it's, you can infer from his words,
Sha'af, Bide Rabbanan, that even with the rabbis,
I mean, even though that Purim is Midirabanan, it's Mashma from what he says, you can infer from what he said that even though Purim is Midirabanan,
Osim Bet Yamim Misafek, we do 2 days from a suffix. Ilav Mishum B'Megillah Dichsiv Velo Yavor. If not, because in the Megillah it is written, do not add. Ilav means if not.
right? If not, exactly.
If not for the fact that it said in the Megillah, Lo Yavor, we would have 2 days and we would read
Right.
the Megillah twice.
Right. So really, according to this, theoretically, we should be keeping it twice. But since it says in the Megillah, Lo Yavor, you shouldn't extend it more. So therefore, we're not going to extend it more, but theoretically, we should.
Okay, so how does this relate to Hanukkah?
Oh, so it would, in a certain way, it would write this. By Hanukkah, it says Ches Yamim also. It says specifically 8 days, right? So we could possibly answer the same reasoning for the Purim as it would be for Hanukkah as well, since it said Lo Yavor, you shouldn't extend it, Purim, so that we only keep your Dalit. But with Ches Yamim of Hanukkah, it also says specifically 8 days, so we won't extend it that way either.
So we're equating the 8 day statement to the Lo Yavor statement.
Seemingly right. We'll have to continue this to next time, which would be Bez Hashem on Yom Rishon, right? But what's emerging here now is there is a discrepancy. There's discussion as to whether or not you do say subject to Rabbanan at all when it comes to the both Hanukkah and Purim. Some Rishonim say no, some say yes, some say they give other terutzim that you can't apply subject to Rabbanan in these cases. Others say that you can apply subject to Rabbanan in these cases. Some say you could, but it's exceptions because Lo Yavor and Ches Yamim. Okay, we're getting our mouths full. Bez Hashem.
We're sinking deeper in quicksand.
Bez Hashem. Bez Hashem. Okay, we're going to take
Thank
a
you,
little
Rabbi.
break. Okay, Roy, have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You too.
Tomorrow's Erev, thank you. Erev Shabbos tomorrow. So Bez Hashem, 9:30. We'll try and discuss something
Okay.
about the Parsha Mitzvah Hashem.
Okay, well,